go young of I don't come up a little bit. You never know what you know.
It is you.
Well, I said that black and aluminum.
Sent Pani. I'm paying for food. I'm paying for food. Oh, I do. You catch the wood. Send them. A brow bunny. A black bunny. Oh, sorry. I'm going to obey you. I have lay. Oh, yeah, Papa. Is you? I'm a young of I don't come up a little bit. You never know what you know. It is you. Well, I said that black and aluminum.
Good morning. Welcome to 99.5 Love FM.
Well, some 28 minutes to hit 8. That's what time it is. Now we're streaming live on LUV 99.5. Now what we're showing on Facebook as we stream live is something that if you care about your environment would, give you the shivers. It has to do with rains that came down in Accra on Friday. And as a result of the rains that came down, you can see plastics and refuse, floating, swimming on the surface of water. It will break your heart. After 63 years of independence, is this what we should be doing to our environment and to our country we say we love? Well, the multimedia group, has championed, the cleanup exercise since last year, and we've done so well with it. So well to the extent that the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has acknowledged the positive impact its partnership with the multimedia group has made on sanitation. City Mayor K.M.A Entry says there is more work to be done, for which he wants other media organizations and businesses to lend a hand. Now, he spoke during the maiden cleanup, which of course took place, and of course is the second leg of one of the sanitation campaigns initiated last year by the multimedia group. And of course, I'm talking about Love FM and Insure FM, with loads of collaborators now coming on board. Prince Apia joined the exercise and has been able to put together this report. Take a listen to this report.
Roman Hill, Dr. Mensah, Pampaso, Sofaline and other areas were covered in Saturday morning's exercise, which saw volunteers and staff of Love and Insure FM and K.M.A reporting as early as 5 a.m. to begin work. Mayor of Kumasi, K.M.A says the partnership with the multimedia group is bearing good fruits. He therefore calls on other media houses to get involved.
And I will give the credit also to the multimedia for the up and doing tasks that you have done. Because in fact this morning I went into the CBD and the number of people that were there voluntarily cleaning the place. And this is the attitude that Ghanaians must culture and continue to nurture. And so for it to stay with us, then the SDG, we will be achieving it. Because we have to ensure that we have clean environment, clean water. Then we will be living long. But this should not be the end of the show. Multimedia, continue. Your partnership with K.M.A has started yielding the results, and everybody is seeing it. And I'm also calling on all the other media houses also to get on board the exercise.
Environmental Health Director Isaac Basanyi reiterates the need to intensify education as a sustainability measure to the sanitation campaign.
Very, very, very impressed of what had happened today. But when we moved to the CBD, the petty traders, the number that came out voluntarily to do what the cleanup is massive. So I think with multimedia, our partnership can work to change people's behavior. Now, what I've seen today is that we need to do a periodic cleanup exercise, and again, to do some education. Because the question is, we'll do it. What is the sustainability aspect of the whole thing? We need to educate the general public to understand that there's a need for us to keep our environment clean, to ensure that we get a healthy life.
Officials believe an attitudinal change is critical to sustain the drive, which, though concentrated at the Central Business District of Kumasi, extended to Sofo Line Lorries Terminal and other parts of the city. Some of the traders spoke to Love News.
Why I decided to join the cleanup is to motivate the people, for them to know that it's very important for us to clean our environment and also keep our cities and also our environment clean.
If you are papa, you property, it means I come up. They catch a million with team with fear, I won't did the who you are banner to so do when you baby, I would dig. Yes, I fear when you saw them, baby, I would dig out.
The exercise, which coincided with Independence Day cleanup exercise, also attracted the prisons and fire services as well as other state institutions. Prince Apia reporting.
So you tell me, were you a part of the cleanup exercise over the weekend? And if you were, tell me, how did it go for you? How exciting was it for you? Especially after the cleanup exercise and you realized that the CBD area was tidier than it was when we began the exercise. I'd love to hear from you. Send us your voice notes to 0554 031 192. 0554 031 192. Now, what I want us also to focus attention on is something that we're showing on our Facebook live stream right now, where a rain that came down in Accra, saw refuse, plastics and all floating on the surface of water. It doesn't mean that Kumasi is free of this. If care is not taken, we can have similar things in Kumasi. This is so because places that used not to flood are now flooding in Kumasi. And so with the rain set to come down somewhere from March, do you think that we can put enough measures in place to ensure that we don't have our cities flooding and lives and properties being lost? Well, we have Mr. Isaac Basanyi with us in the studios of Love 99.5, and he's somebody who has been full of praise for the multimedia team. Mr. Basanyi, good morning to you.
Good morning, David.
And I trust you're well.
Yeah.
Erastus Asaridonko is also with me in the studios, and he, although excited, has concerns about some of the attitudes of some people out there when the exercise was ongoing. Erastus, good morning to you too.
Good morning, David.
And trust you're well.
I'm good.
So how did the exercise go for you on Saturday? You were there. Your own thoughts?
Well, it gave me the hope and feeling that Ghana still has patriotic citizens. And so we should be happy about that. In fact, the number of people who came there, I was there at 5 a.m. and I saw some of the shop owners. And one particular guy, I've forgotten the name, but he was in the drains alone, clearing, desilting and doing all he can with no supervision from anybody. He wasn't coerced by anybody. He just got up very early, came in there and started doing what he has to do. I think this shows that we still have people who love our dear country, they love the environment, and they still want to do the right thing. We had some traders, members of the petty traders, come along in their numbers. I must say, hundreds. But a few of them, partook in the exercise. That's my bit. There were some who were caught ball watching, which I think wasn't so good. I took videos of some of them, sitting with proper lipstick, shiny and all that, waiting for their colleagues to finish work so they can open their shops. That is unpatriotic. That is so unpatriotic. And mind you, these are the same people who throw refuse from up there, the stores. They gather, they throw it onto the street as if the streets were some kind of waste bins for people to throw in there. So I think that largely the military came in, they helped us a lot. When you go to the street behind PZ, we had some traders who had folded their arms as well, sitting in filth they had created in front of their shops, and they were sitting there, and they sat there till we completed. They did not clean anything. So I think that so far it was largely good because we were able to do the work, and we are happy for all those who joined us. Fabio and his crew, they came. They do not trade at the Doom. They do not stay there. They have no business there. But they came from their areas to help us clean. I think that's a good sign.
Well, again, myself and Apuzo saw a few people who also seated in front of their shops, and some in shorts. I mean, men in shorts and wearing T-shirt. Like Erasmus was narrating, just waiting for the cleanup exercise to be over for them to open their shops. I mustered courage and I asked one of them why he was not partaking in the exercise. He said to me that he wasn't well, and I just realized, I could feel that he was not telling me the truth. But
no, why was he there?
Is
a clinic or a hospital?
He could tell he was not telling the truth, but my concern is why didn't we use a bit of force or coercion to get them to partake in it?
And that is my point, that going forward, the next time we are organizing, perhaps we should involve all the security agents. Let's get a battalion of military personnel, police personnel, other things whose duty is not to clean, but to urge people to go on and clean. Let's involve the Petty Traders Association, if indeed they can control their members. Let's write names. So if you come and you are sitting there, I took videos of some of them. I'll forward it to the right authorities if they can do something about it. Or Mr. Basani and his people can also give summons to those whose shops are found dirty after we've cleaned, like the street I'm talking about. The place was still dirty when we were leaving. And so we come in there, we give you summons to appear in court and tell us why the frontage of your shop is not so clean. I think we can adopt some strategies going forward to get everybody involved. That communal spirit should be there.
But I'm happy that it came out in their numbers, and we salute many of those who joined the exercise itself. Now, Mr. Basanyin, and for those who turned up but did not partake in the exercise, is there any bylaw or anything that says, well, they could be held, accountable for not partaking in the exercise?
Yeah, there's a bylaw to that effect. But let me first congratulate the entire traders that came out that day. But I've been talking about multimedia and K.M.A coming together to do something. What I saw on Saturday, I think is something beyond my understanding. Let me also thank my guy, Erastus. At least 5:30, I was organizing myself, the tours and all those things. But Erastus was down there.
He was sending you pictures and videos.
Yes, Erastus was down there preparing the whole ground. Really, it's good. Those who did not partake, they were there but didn't partake. Something has been done. You hear of it?
You sure?
Yes. Because it's a traders association. They have their members, and then some of them, they personally told me some of them were reluctant and then they didn't partake. So we need to sit down and see how best we punish them, because there's a law to that if communal labor has been instituted, we've planned, we've given an announcement, and then everything is done, and then you refuse to do that. I mean, there's a law to that fact. So we are going to.
Do you know what the punishment would be?
Yes, not less than about 40 penalty units. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We pray that at least if we don't get all of them, quite and
a few will serve as a deterrent
to others in the next exercise. But after the exercise, the cleanup exercise, would you say that the CBD area was as clean as you wanted it to be or expected it to be?
Oh yes, I was expecting the same situation when I went there. In fact, I went to sports stadium. When I came back, I mean, what was there was perfect. I think we should continue on with that. Now, the question is the sustainability. That's what I've always been saying. Now, let me tell the public that the whole package is not the cleanup. It is the enforcement, the cleanup, and then education. That's what the team have put in place. The enforcement, the cleanup, and education. In fact, on the 11th, of this match, we are organizing a very nice education in front of Roman Hill down there. Yeah, we are coming out with a nice health education program down there. K.M.A, we've been able to organize some system. We've had our own instruments. We are going to organize a very nice health education at that place. Now we need to educate the public to understand the whole system. Keep wherever they are clean. The other day I was saying we need to let people understand and own their immediate environment, and then shine in sanitary conditions.
But here we have some people who are still not partaking in the exercise. So how would such a person own his environment? And that is why it is very necessary that sanctions, are meted out to those who refuse to partake in the exercise on Saturday, although they came to the CBD area.
Yeah.
But in as much as Erasmus, Mr. Basanyi says he was satisfied with the outcome of the exercise because the CBD area looked cleaner than we began the exercise. Would you say the same? Would you say that it met your expectation? How neat the place was after the exercise?
Oh yes. Despite the ball watching spectators, we still had a very good exercise that day, myself included. I was cleaning as well, and some of the traders did help, especially the men on the other side of Hello FM frontage. They came in to help. There were some women, and as you see the videos we're streaming, there were some women who put on gloves, dipped their hand into the drains to clear stuff in there, and I was so happy about that. And I think the other positive side is the tricycles we organized. In fact, they followed the trail. We were scooping the dirt and other things into the tricycles. They would take it away, and so we were not leaving anything on the streets, and that's also a very good sign. So I think largely we did a great job. We could have done immensely better if we had the complement of all those traders who were lining up the streets, folding their arms and watching. If we had all of them onto the streets, I think we could have done more.
Okay, now we're still streaming live on Facebook, and we're showing you videos of what transpired over the weekend. You can go check it out for yourself. You see women who have the t-shirts on, who have gloves on, and they are cleaning the environment. We're cleaning the CBD area. We have also shown you videos of the aftermath of a rain fall in Accra, where refuse, plastics and all were floating on the surface of water, swimming, I call it, on the surface of water, and it will break your heart to see that very video. But again, we know that this month of March will definitely bring to us some rains. Are we prepared enough to fight the floods, the perennial floods that come our way every year? Do you trust that the assembly would be able to do enough to avert these floods? Now, people lose their lives, properties are lost when these rains come down and the floods come along with them. There are places that hitherto were not flooding, but those areas are now flooding. What, in your estimation, do you think we need to do? Give us suggestions. What can we do in addition to what we're doing so far that would ensure that floods do not come up when the rains come down this year? Send us your voice notes to 0554 031 192. If you were part of the cleanup exercise itself on Saturday, how was the experience like for you? Now, Erasmus, beautiful work done over the weekend. But if we go back to those same places on Saturday, what do you think we would see?
Not Saturday, the same day. I went back the same day.
Mr. Basanyi said, are you sure?
I went to Boss FM, from Boss FM to Hello FM.
Okay.
They've littered the place with ice, water, whatever in there, and I was. You see, there's an underlying problem that we also need to solve. I think mayors over and over again have not been able to solve this problem, and that is one thing that is encouraging littering, especially at the Central Business District. What if we had no traders trading on the pavements? Think of it. Think about it.
It would do some magic, but not fully, because
it will do a lot.
People still go to town.
It will do a lot. I remember very well when we finished. I remember very well when we finished the decongestion recently. The street was very clean. You had no traders in there. People were moving freely to and fro. It was clean for a very long time. You see, these are the same people who sit on the pavement. Some of them selling awachi, some of them selling anwamu, insu, whatever. Some of them begging, some of them spreading mat and selling shoes and whatever. These ready-made clothes with plastic wrappings and all that. If the streets were very organized, and we had people in their shops putting their wares inside their shops, getting proper dustbins. But that is what you find everywhere across the world. You go everywhere, you don't find people trading on the pavements where people are walking. It encourages littering.
What happened to owning your space? Because I'm believing that for those who join in the exercise, if you're saying that on that same day people were littering, it means that people who sell there, although unauthorized, were not, protecting that space.
No, they were not.
And that is one thing that
they have never been.
We need to drum that thing home.
Yeah.
Even if you own a shop or whatever, you need to own that space. And so therefore, if I am walking by as a pedestrian or whatever, and I drop something, draw my attention to it and tell me, listen, this is not what to do. Pick it up.
That is what we've been trying to tell people, and that's what we've been trying to hammer home all this while. And I think we should not stop. We should still keep doing that. And myself and Mr. I think we should start going to the field, applying some sanctions. When we go in front of your shop, we find that, we give you summons. We continue doing that until people police the environment. See, there is is it Fifth Traders Association or Fifth?
Yeah,
Fifth something. In front of
Fifth Traders, Malcolm.
Fifth in front. They've been able to do it.
Yeah,
they've been able to do it. They've owned their space. Right now, you try it. Go there, drop something on the floor, and you see what will happen.
Yeah,
don't ask you to pick it up.
That's why I really don't support.
Are you challenging what he's saying? That around the Hello FM area, people were still littering after the cleanup exercise.
I did that organization work. They were able to kindly own wherever their immediate environment. Let's continue with that. David, that's what I was saying. You should not allow people to sell partially
on the pavement.
On the pavement, no. But
people are selling there, and the bylaws, frowns on that. But people are still selling there.
Really?
They are even selling under the sign which says trading there is prohibited. They are selling under that.
And it's part of your job. You're meant to clear these people off the streets.
Precisely, it's part of the job. But David, what is happening?
The politics.
Yes.
The politics.
So what should you do?
Is it the politics?
Now let them.
Mr. Basangi, is it the politics?
I'm not going there.
I'm not saying go there. I'm asking, is it because of politics?
Let's talk about people owning the environment.
Before we go there.
Owning wherever they
Why can't we get
because you're able to do that at Melcon? Why can't you implement it at the other area?
But you see, on the other end,
the
difference. Let me add this, then you continue. The difference is
for
that
those of you who are watching the live feed or stream, drop comments. I mean, whatever it is that you see there as we stream live, drop comments. Let's reach out to your comments and read them.
You see, the difference is that in front of Melcom, they are organized on the pavement.
We can't equally organize,
but on the other side, there's no organization.
People who organize those at that place.
Oh, you did?
Who organized those at the Melcom?
If you did, then
yes. So I said we can do it.
Okay.
So don't worry.
How do you do it?
Time organize them. Let me tell you, the waste that is created at the CBD, we have 4 main people who are creating the waste: the buyers, the transport operators, the traders, and then the storekeepers. These are the 4 people creating the waste at the CBD. We can equally have a stakeholders meeting with them and then try to work it out.
Why haven't you done
We have been able to do that. We are able to do that. We are trying it. We have started.
But we're not seeing the results.
To do that of Mekon. Equally, we can roll it and then we can do things. So, Erasmus as ISPC, multimedia and K.M.A have collaborated. Let's see what we can do. We should start from somewhere and end somewhere.
The other time, myself and my cameraman, we went to do the job of environmental officers. So we on our own, we just went from shop to shop. You see, those who are occupying the triangle after Melcom, where the ECG
the transformer.
You see, they've littered the whole place, and we stood there for like 30 minutes observing them. The waste was not coming from people who were walking by. It was the people who were trading there. So they drink this, they put it there. They drink this, they put it there. They eat that, they put it there. So we went there, we said, clean the whole environment. We made them stop whatever they are doing. And they cleaned the environment. We went to another area. We came back like 20 minutes time. Same thing.
No, meaning they have not owned the place. You force them to do that job. Right? They are not owning the place. So
I was asking myself, what if they were not there?
Okay. So having said all this, Erasmus, have you seen that video that is circulating, and we're showing that video on our Facebook page right now as we stream live?
You mean the flowing plastics?
Yes, at a slam down in a car. You've seen it?
Yeah.
Describe. How did you feel when you saw it?
I was shocked. I've never seen anything like that before.
Because
seriously, I've seen some in Kumasi, but not this magnitude, where you could see a sea of plastics flowing like a river. It's mind blowing, and it brings me back to, when we traveled outside. You don't get plastic bags to put your stuff in. Plastic bags are very expensive, and you buy it at the till, very expensive. But they encourage paper bags, and they are very cheap. So you can get your paper bag,
and they can easily decompose.
They can hold anything. They can hold drinks, whatever. They can hold anything, and these paper bags, you can easily dispose them off.
Yeah.
You can easily dispose. Why are we not encouraging that? The last time when one company, I won't mention the name, they launched their drink, their beverage, and I saw these small plastic bottles. You see, people were enjoying the drink, but I was asking myself, after they finished drinking all these thousands of bottles, where are they going? Because you are not recycling them. Where are they going? So as a country, we are not thinking about when people are coming up with these products. We do not ask them, so what plan do you have concerning the mess that these bottles are going to create?
Mr. Besagi, so let me come to you now. I mean, the rains are going to come anytime soon. At least from next week, we shall have some rains. Yeah. What's the plan to ensure that we don't have our cities flooded, and we don't have, flowing plastics like we see in the video that happened in Accra, and that, when the floods come, people don't lose their lives and property? What's the plan?
David, so what we are doing is one, educational aspect. We are going to do the education, intensive education, and then we'll do our enforcement. All this waste is coming from the plastic industry. What we've seen there is from the plastic industry. We are going to identify these plastic organizations and then have a stakeholders meeting with them and see how best we can also help in minimizing the plastic. We are linking with the waste management. So there's another area from that angle to strengthen the waste management and then to ensure that refuse generated can also be cut as early as possible, immediately as early as possible.
Would you agree with that?
I think we can.
Would you agree with me that we have done too much sensitization and education, and that the key to solving this problem is just enforcement? Give them summons, let them appear before a judge in the court, let them be fined, or let them be sentenced, like some 2 women were sentenced last week. If people know that they're going to be fined or they will be imprisoned, they will not do the wrong things as they're doing right now. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. But that is exactly what we are doing. And then we've not relent on that. And we are aware.
We just have been lucky. I know that in a few weeks past, we have had some people paying some
fines. We've taken a lot of people.
Erasmus, has enough been done in that direction?
Yes, when we started this year, in fact, we started in a very big style, very robust. Wherever we have gone, we've given summons. And I love that.
How are we telling?
I love that.
How are we communicating that to the people out there, the CBDs? That this time around, this is what we're doing.
The videos are all out there. We've been communicating these stories on Love FM, on Isra FM. They were on Joy News TV. We've been doing those stories on Adum TV. And so, if you were fined, your face and wherever you trade is out there for people to see. And so, I think that is communication enough to tell people that this time around, we are not coming into. We see. When we come on the streets as a task force, we are not there to educate. We are there to enforce the law. And so when we come and we find you in that, Mr. Basani has worked very hard to get these courts on board. And we're talking about the Asim district courts. They've been very fantastic. Her Worship Ali Atta Said has been fantastic. The other judge has been, has also been great. And I love that. And so, please, as we come out there tomorrow, we are not there to educate you. We are there to enforce the law. So we come, we find you in that field, we give you court summons, you go to the court, and then you have your day in court. But
what we're seeing in the video, as pertaining to Accra, is it beyond us to have a similar thing in Kumasi?
You see, this one goes beyond Mr. Basani, and I'm worried that you are pushing it to him so hard. But this one goes beyond Mr. Basani. You see, this is a policy problem. We need, I know we have very fine, fantastic laws, but how are we, what is the sanitation ministry self doing? Madam Abnadapa, I love her so much, but please, what are we doing? You see, this comes with a thinking strategy. We have to think outside the box. There are plenty companies who are coming up with bottled products everywhere, almost everywhere. People are coming out with bottled products. What is the plan? As part of their whatever, when they present it to people for approval and all that, what is captured in there as their plan, their strategy to deal with the after effects of their trade? Do we have that? I think this is where the sanitation ministry needs to come in very hard and strong. If we have a policy on plastics, how can we take out plastic bags, polythenes, for example, replace them gradually with paper bags as a policy across the country? How do we do that? We must be thinking ahead, outside the box at this moment.
03-220-83596. 03-220-83596. If you've seen that video, what do you make of it? Now, were you a part of the cleanup exercise that took place over the weekend? How would you describe it? How do we ensure that with the rains, set to come down this month of March, we'll not have floods, all around us? Join our conversation now, and let's hear from you. 03-220-83596. I'd love to hear contributions as to how we can make our city clean. Ghana is 63 years on Friday, and yet we're not doing the right things that will make us feel proud and own this country as people who, come from here. It's disturbing. David, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Let's take David.
Yeah, I don't know how long Erastus and this sanitation campaign will last. Love it from will last. But sometimes I ask myself, what is K.M.A. doing? Other government agencies that are responsible for making sure the nation is clean, what are they doing? Because if they don't sit up, continuity may be a challenge. But I think that the pressure Erastus and his team are putting on people to own the community and make sure it's neat, they should put similar pressure on K.M.A. and make them unpopular, that they are not doing their work. Those who are receiving salaries at the end of the month and they have promised the people that we are going to do that job, they must be taken to book. Look, sometimes you travel to certain countries and you get, this is business. I mean, sanitation is business. How can they organize people, put them on the streets, pay them at the end of the month to do this work? And so it's like people are occupying certain positions, doing nothing. And yet they keep on going and coming every year and we sit looking at them. I think that similar pressure that we are putting on the people should be put on the people who are receiving money to do that job. They must think and work.
Well, thank you very much. I'm told the name is Daniel and not David. Christoph, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my big brother. I hope you are fine, sir.
I am well, but worried about what I'm seeing.
Very serious. I also watch it on Facebook. Very serious. When we've created a whole ministry for sanitation, okay, and this woman who comes on radio and TV and she talks, Madam Abnadapa, she talks, but see, we are not seeing the actions behind the work, okay. And when our president also declared that Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa, and are we there? We are not even at the quarter stage, okay? you see this plastic thing flowing. So I believe that we all have to put our hands on them and make sure that we shake these things up. And especially we here in Kumasi, multimedia, let's join this campaign so that we can sustain it and make Kumasi the garden city once again. Dave, thank you.
Thank you very much, Christoph. There. Let's speak to Godwin. Good morning.
Good morning, David. My greetings to Mr. Masenya. And I know him very well. And I know if given the opportunity, when it comes to enforcement, nobody can take that from him. But I think enforcement, as you also said, a lot of education have been done. And the rest is enforcement. And the question you are putting out there, that when the rain starts, if you don't want to see these plastic things coming out, floating on the rivers or seas, the only way, David, the only way, I have started advocating this kind of enforcement for long ago. Enforcement is the key. But apart from making sure that we enforce at the various towns, the communities, those in charge of the community and the environmental officers are supposed to get down there, because when the rain comes and it is picking things, it is not only the central business district, but rather the communities also will be picked into the rivers, the streams, and at the end of the day, we'll be having flooding. So we need to make sure we enforce. And the secret also about the central business district, those people selling, while they are creating problem on the street, they are also selling and putting under their tables rubbish and plastics. And when they close around 5 p.m., when nobody is watching them, they leave those things there. And sometimes the rain starts at that time. So at the end of the day, you see this kind of thing. So the environmental officers, as Mr. Basinyo and Co., should be encouraged to make sure that people are actually checked to make sure.
I hear you, Godwin. Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution. Political thinker?
Yeah, please, Dave, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm told you're calling from Achimako Feridua. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, Dave, you know, in Ghana, it's a problem because people are being paid to travel out there. They have diplomatic passport. They always use state money to go out there in the name of the state. So what are they going there to do? And if you go there, what are they seeing? If they are deaf, it doesn't mean that they are blind. They went there and see something. So if you come back home, we want the things that you went and see or saw, you know, come back and help us to implement those same things here so that our here can even become more better than where you went.
I hear you. Thank you very much, political thinker. Nana Kweku.
Hello, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, just give me 30 seconds. One, plastic waste. You know, New York, just this dawn, I was listening to BBC. New York, they banned plastics in New York as I speak now. You can just Google it. New York, plastic is banned. Now they came to Africa, Kenya. Remember, they did it a long time ago, but in Kenya here, they've stopped it. But do you know the funny thing about we Ghanaians? We just sit there and then we allow ourselves, for want of a better word, stupidly, but I wouldn't use stupid, but stupidly follow politicians. Let them, some politicians be bold and ban plastic here in Ghana. You have certain people that will come and Yajima say, I'm going to say Yajima, but at the end of the day, go to in front of Flagstaff House. There's no plastic there. I'm in Accra here. Go to Choco, Nima. That is where you find the plastics. And we are the people that mosquitoes are biting and we are getting sick. They are there at Flagstaff House. They're not getting sick. Someone called and said, look, we see why people care, make people working. Look, my brother, at the end of the day, you are being affected by this garbage. People should work. Look, it's hard time we let people take responsible. I mean, they should be responsible citizens. Take the country by ourselves.
We should love the country. That's what you want to say. We should love the country.
And here's the situation. Look, Erasmus, you're saying you went there, people were nicely dressed with their fingernails clean. So you left them. Take the garbage out of the gutters, dump it in front of their stores, their shops. let the the stinks and everything that comes out of this.
You like radical things, and thank you very much. You are too radical sometimes, my brother. Caleb, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, my brother. Let's hear you, sir.
I want to encourage multimedia for the good job that they are doing, and that you guys shouldn't give up. And I think it's an inspirational message that went out there. I mean, seeing the woman digging the trench with her hand to clean the rubbish is something else. And you mentioned that this guy who entered the gutters under no supervision and started digging things out. Those are the stories we want to hear. It actually brought some tears in my eyes because I really felt there are still Ghanaians out there who want to make an impact to the society. But let's break this down to the family unit. Currently as a country, we are running what we call the linear economic consumption pattern. We buy, we use, and then we dump. But the best way to solve this plastic issue, one, of course, radically, is to ban plastics. And if that is not going to work, we should think about running the circular economy, which is you buy, you consume, you dump, and then recycle. How do we do this? I'm trying to offer a solution. Now, the K.M.A boss says they are going to talk about stakeholders. I hope it's not a political talk, but if we could really implement that from the family unit basis, we separate the plastic waste from the other waste, and so that we have a system where people come, they don't pick the two things together, but they take the plastic for recycling and they dump the ones that can be rotten in the system. And then we do that right from the family unit. If we can also implement that in the market centers, it will really, really help us. Because what I've seen on the video that he showed is matters.
Caleb, thank you very much. We appreciate the call. Let's just pick one more call and wrap up our conversation. Alex, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, I want to touch on two things. The first one is with enforcement. You see, the officer in your studios, before Love FM decided to embark on this exercise, he was still an officer of K.M.A. And he has a responsibility. You don't need a media house to get involved before we do what we are supposed to do. I don't know whether he's understaffed or he's under-resourced. But as a country, we must do what we are supposed to do, even when we are not being watched. That is the first part. The second part is with the citizenry, the people within the country. I think what we understand, the language Ghanaians understand, is the use of force. So we must apply the rules and the laws and the bylaws to the latter. And I think that is the only way we can get rid of the filth that has engulfed the whole city. It doesn't matter whatever we do. People will bring in the politics and all those things. But we need to enforce our laws. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. And we have a few messages on Facebook. Amunda Michael says, wow, look, too bad. Chefman Osei says, watching the show live from Atonsu, and I'm shocked. Well, this is Ghana for you. He goes on to say that I think that we are all the cause of these things, and yet we sit down to blame the K.M.A mayor. We should all rather learn to be disciplined and not just to come out and attack people with impunity. Berima Kwejo Insian says, in fact, my people are dirty. Look at what I'm seeing. Your people, we are all dirty. And that's why we're saying that, listen, buy into this campaign, the cleanup exercise we've embarked upon. It's not just a Love FM thing or an Ishara FM thing. It is a multimedia thing. So in Accra, in Kumasi, and elsewhere, let's all come together and ensure that our environment is as clean as it should be. Because if the environment is clean, we'll not battle with cholera and typhoid fever and other disease conditions. Now, Erasmus, as we wrap up our conversation, let me ask you, what final words do you have for us?
Beyond us.
It's not beyond us, indeed.
To get
it's not.
That environment we crave for when we travel outside to London, to Germany, to, you know, it's not beyond us. They started just like ours. They made the laws work. And then they started teaching their kids that you do not drop things on the ground. You do not do that. You do not do that. And so people bought into it. It became part of them. It became a culture, and they started growing up with them. And so they know the benefits of these things. Let's start doing it. When you are in a particular community, as we talk to you every single day, please be watchful. Join the fight. Don't sit on the fence. When somebody is dropping or littering the area, be the policeman or woman. Let's get the environment going.
Thank you very much, Erasmus. Mr. Bassanyi, some 15-20 seconds for you.
David, let me first thank the traders that came out that day or Saturday to do the cleanup. In fact, what they did, I think, is good. Let me just say the Mekong guys, the Abua, the Roman Hill, the Shoe guys, and then the Pentecost. In fact, that day, Pentecost also did a very good job on Saturday. Let me just thank them and then entreat them also to join hands in keeping Kumasi clean.
Well, thank you very much. Well, at 6 o'clock, we brought to you the news. It was brought to us by Lechego Savings and Loans. Now, did you know that AFB Ghana has rebranded to Lechego Savings and Loans? They've done this to offer new opportunities and more advanced financial solutions like salaried worker loans, individual as well as corporate investments. Did you also know that they have been ranked the 24th top performing company on the Ghana Club 100's rankings 18th edition? Well, all this great achievement has been made possible through the support of the 2 million customers they have across the country. So they say a very big thank you to all their customers. Visit their branches at Asafo, opposite the Senate office, and at Bantam in the Silvercrest building to improve your life. Call them on 0570-949-016, 0570-949-016. Let's go. Let's improve.
Mpanimfoɔ fo. Akufu ado yɛtwa akyerɛ wo. Akufu. Ɔbra uboni.
Ɔbra bɔne.
O sorry a galamisi sika. Ebe quarantine o.
Abantu obetu akoma ya dia ble yi.
Onye papa. Yes yo. Ayenima.
Never